Hey guys, what's going on? It's a Block Bull right about now, bringing you the latest episode to the channel. Now today it looks as if we're going to be covering Xcn Onyx coin, simply because I did post out this tweet earlier on today. I just said, let me know if you guys want a YouTube video doing today. Drop a like, leave your suggestions down below. So you guys have responded. As always, we're looking at Xcn. Xcn is popular. Yes, please, Xcn as well. Velo as well. Supershell Star is asking for Xcn, XRP, XLM, XTC is looking for the trifecta with the ISO coins. The new trifecta that will take over the generational wealth transfer for certain XRP, XLM, XDC. Deep dive into Goliath. Now, that is a good suggestion for the Onyx Xcn. Army over here, over on YouTube, get a massive reception of people tuning in to watch Xcn. So you know what? That is not a bad suggestion. However, it does take time to do that research. I will do some research over the next couple of days, and we'll make sure that, we can actually produce a decent video. So if you guys want to see that particular video on the deep dive into the Goliath mainnet, which is due to be released towards the end of the year, going into 2026, certainly hit that like button and make sure you subscribe for more in anticipation of that video. We've got Xcn, XRP. So there's a lot of Xcn requests right now. So let's just take a quick look at the crypto bubbles here before we do get over to the charts here. So let's just start off on the week. On the week, we've actually done really well, guys. So you know what? Despite the sort of sideways price action, these cryptos have actually gone up on the quiet. On the whole, we're looking very positive. You can see the Xcn is up 16.7%. One of the biggest gainers behind the likes of Velo and QNT as well. QNT up 24.8% on the week. If we just go over to the day now, obviously it's Sunday. Usually cryptos do sort of retrace and dip ever so slightly, just simply because there's not enough volume coming into the markets. Okay, so without further ado, let's dive into the Xcn chart here. We'll just filter through here on this sort of column here. This is a watch list over on the trading view. Fairly straightforward. Xcn is the second biggest gainer according to trading view in terms of these cryptos that we're actually highlighting here. One of the few coins in the green. Half of these cryptos here are still in the red in negative equity. Okay, so Xcn again, nothing has changed. We're still looking at this sort of macro red wedge as described in the previous videos, which is why I've not been covering many YouTube videos recently, simply because I only tend to cover Xcn, ZBEC, simply because they're the only sort of content in the cryptos that actually gain any kind of views. Because if I start covering XRP, etc., there's much bigger accounts, and this is the explanation as to why I don't often cover any other cryptos. I mean, I could do, but you know what? The videos just wouldn't be worth my time doing. They'd probably get like 500 views, you know what I mean? Like I say, much larger accounts. However, there's not many people covering Onyx Xcn. However, it is an absolute sleeping giant. And you can see here, as I actually zoom in for you guys, you can see the 200-day moving average coming in here nicely. Now, the good news is for Onyx Xcn holders, we are coming to the end of this sort of move here. So I'd be looking at closing the month out strongly, certainly above this 200-day moving average. That would be nice. Now, prior to this video, last week, or certainly the week before, I was aiming and I was suggesting Onyx Xcn after the 18th of June, once we had that Fed meeting, there was a chance that we could be looking at getting a close above this highest week. We're on the daily time frame here. We were looking at taking out, or at least closing above, this daily candle here, which is the 2025 daily highest close, okay, which is approximately around sort of 3.5 cents. There was a chance we could wick up past there around 5 cents and take out that liquidation wick up there. However, the compression has continued throughout July, so the compression continues, which in a way is, it's kind of bad news that we're not seeing bigger moves sooner. However, the fact is, the fact that this inevitability has been delayed and suppressed even further, and what they say in the market is, the longer the base, the higher in space. So this is the good news, guys, and it's only a matter of time now to a breakout. So I wouldn't expect a breakout prior to the end of the month. Now let's just have a look at see how many days in the month of June. So yeah, 30th of June, Tuesday will be the 1st of July, so that'll be the new month. So I don't expect any sort of breakout up until Tuesday. Looking at Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, hopefully This week, going into this new week, we could be looking at amazing breakout here, and then obviously would be looking at getting that sort of close, that initial close above sort of 3 cent 5. I would like to take out that 5 cent as well, and then we can propel and continue with some sort of continuation patterns, which again we'll revisit over here on the YouTube channel. Okay, just to keep track of where we can take profits later on. However, we do have this sort of area of resistance here, which is coming in my view, even if I just make this a little bit more simplistic, you guys can see where the clear resistance is going to come in here, where this sort of initial price action started, the origins of the Xcn chart over on the KuCoin exchange. Okay, we've got this sort of resistance up here. So I would like to begin, like I say, we'll just take it step by step, day by day, week by week. First of all, we want to crack that sort of 3.5 cents to 5 cent. Once we clear that obstacle, we're looking at sort of 7.5 cents to 8 cent. I would imagine all this plays out very, very quickly indeed. As soon as we break this, like I say, this sort of macro structure with this red symmetrical triangle, all these targets will almost be like, it's almost like running the 100-meter hurdle race. It's as simple as that. Once we overcome one and we picked up acceleration, you've got the gas down, you've got your foot down to the metal, and then you're literally off. You know, you're propelling to the finish line. And this is what's happening now. So, like I say, for people that have actually viewed my channel, we'll be looking at a sort of massive Elliott wave. So we'll be looking at the 1, 2, and then we'll be looking at a massive 3 now, where I do believe this third wave could get all the way up to sort of 32 cent, which is again where my target is. Again, you can take sort of profits along the way. But I would be looking, again, this fifth wave, where I plot this, don't take any notice. This is simply for illustration purposes. Yeah, we're not focusing on wave 5 where that can go right now. But certainly, once we get this massive move out of here, as soon as we break out of this apex, we'll be flying up here. Again, the dates are subjective, but for me, I would be aiming around that sort of 30 cent mark, yeah, give or take like 10%. I reckon it can get as high as about 32, 33 cent. Before we do see some sort of retracement. The retracement can come down very deep, which is why, you know, it would be not financial advice, but for me personally, I can't give anyone else advice, but for me personally, I will be taking profits around 30 cent, waiting for some sort of pullback. Again, people that are subscribed to the channel will be aware of the sort of prices I will be looking at re-entering the market. And again, if you want up-to-date sort of XCN sort of executions on when I'm actually taking profits, make sure you join the Discord as well. The link is down below in the description, what.com/theblockbulls. It basically pays for itself, and there is a free 3-day trial available as well for you guys to take advantage of. Yeah, so we're looking at some massive gains, and in terms of the sort of price action down here, we're just to measure up to sort of 30 cents, say 32 cent is around this sort of region here, 31, 32 cent. We're looking at another sort of 20x, yeah, 2000%. So about 20, 21x would be absolutely phenomenal. So that is great news, guys. Anyhow, just a quick one today in terms of the XCN chart. So we'll be back from Monday, tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'll try and remain consistent with producing these YouTube videos. I should have a little bit more time on my side now because I have been producing a new AI app as well, which I will be launching soon in the iOS and Android markets. Okay, guys. Anyway, if you enjoyed the content, make sure to drop us a like. Make sure to subscribe. Hopefully, we'll see some of you guys in the Discord as well. Until next time, I've been the Block Bull. The Block Bull is over and out.